in La Liga. I almost forgot what that felt like after the last few weeks. Real Madrid 2, Girona 0. And this was a must-win game. We saw how the results went the other day after Atleti and Barcelona both won their matches. And the pressure was on us because we're the team that fumbled the big lead that we had only about a month ago. So we had to get the 3 points today. And that's exactly what we did. Now, I don't think that the performance was the best. But at this stage of the season, it's getting towards the business end. It's just about getting over the line. But we do have a lot of things that we got to get into for this match. Make sure that you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and get in the comment section and let me know what you thought about this game. And I also want to know who your man of the match was, because mine was Luka Modric. I mean, let's just start right there. What a player Luka Modric is. This guy is 40 years old. And look at how good he is still. Some legends are playing in the MLS and they're younger than him. This guy is still at Real Madrid. He's still contributing to the best team in the world while also performing at... Yo, I'm telling you right now, give Luka Modric a year extension. This guy is not done. He has so much more to offer. Having a player of that level to come off the bench and to start some games here and there when we need to rotate is perfect. Luka Modric is a generational level player. That goal that he scored right before halftime to give us the lead, are you kidding me? What a screamer. You can't teach that. Valverde, maybe I see where he's learned his long-range shooting from. How many times has Luka Modric put in a good shift for us? A club legend, Florentino Perez, extend this man's contract by 1 more year. I'm not ready for Luka Modric to leave. His contract runs out at the end of this season. I don't want him going anywhere. I want him staying at this club. I don't want to see him play for no one else. I want him to retire here at Real Madrid. And based off how he's performing right now, this guy looks like he can still play for another 3 to 4 seasons. The way that he controlled the midfield, the way that he was able to get it from the back line, create space, right? We dominated them in the middle of the park today. The way that he bailed us out, because in that first half, chat, we could not break down Girona. Mind you, Girona are a team that are sitting 11th or 12th. They have a negative goal difference. But today, the way that they were setting up defensively, I couldn't believe it. It seems like when teams play against us, they have their best defensive performance of the season. It was looking like the Great Wall of China, the way that they were defending that goal. We couldn't get through. And it literally took a deflected corner, basically, because Luka Modric's goal, it started from us getting a corner. The ball was put into the box, and then it was knocked away. Modric chested it, and then first touch, bang, top bins. You cannot teach that. Certain players have that ability. Certain players just do not. It literally took us to get a screamer in that first half to get something on the board. Girona defended very well today. Now, the second half, we were all over them, right? And to be honest, the fact that we only scored 2 goals is a little bit annoying, right? Mbappe, he should have had at least a brace today. Mbappe had some very good chances. But Girona's goalkeeper, to give him some credit, he made some really big saves, right? Like, this guy cooked. Because if he didn't make some of the saves that he did, we could be talking about a 4 or 5-0. It's like every single time we go against one of these lower teams, their defense becomes prime Italy, and their goalkeeper looks like Buffon. It's wild, bro. Like, I couldn't believe how compact they were. right? I don't even think that Girona came here to try and score. They had a few attacks where they looked a little bit dangerous, but they didn't have any big chances. They didn't really create anything, right? We dominated possession. That's one of the biggest positives from this game, is how we looked on the ball. We controlled the tempo. We dictated the style in terms of what we were going to do, but also how Girona were going to have to defend us, right? But the issue that I had was, especially in that first half, was with all this possession that we have, why are we not breaking them down? Why do we not look dangerous? I thought that Vinicius, mid in that first half, right? I don't know what's been going on with him, but the way that this guy has been starting off games has just not been good enough. In the second half, he turned it around. Vinicius got the second goal on the counterattack, and Mbappe got the assist, but I need Vinny to start performing for a majority of the match, right? Not just the second half. He looked a lot more dangerous when we came back out for the last 45 minutes, right? This guy hit the crossbar. He was beating his defenders in 1v1s. He was putting the ball into dangerous areas. And he did make up for a very lackluster first half because, again, Vinicius missed a wide open header in that first half. Back-to-back games where he's not capitalized on being open in the box with the header. Vinicius cannot score a header to save his life. And I get it. He's not an aerial threat, but I mean, come on, bro. You gotta do a better job with these headers. But, again, he made up for that in the second half with that performance. But I see a lot of people are starting to turn on Vinny. I'm doing my watch along. A lot of you guys in the live chat are saying that Vinicius needs to be sold. I don't agree with that. I don't understand where all this hate from Vinny is coming from with the Real Madrid fan base. How fast you guys forget all that he's done for us. Vinicius is one of the best players in the world. I would not sell him for anything. The only way that I would sell Vinny is if he asks to leave. I think defensively today, we were very good. They didn't really have that much to do. Vasquez returned to the starting 11. David Alaba returned to the starting 11. Raul Asensio was there as well. Ferland Mendy at left back. And for a majority of the game, it wasn't like Girona were a threat. And that was a little bit surprising as well, considering the Girona that we saw last season, right? Considering the style of football that their manager likes to play, I definitely thought that Girona were going to go at us. I definitely thought that Girona were going to try and get a goal. They parked the bus. Whenever we had the ball in the final third, it was like 9 men in the box for Girona. And I don't blame them, right? If you're playing against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, I mean, you can't just go all-out attack. But for example, Miguel Gutierrez was non-existent. I forgot he was on the pitch until they subbed him off. Miguel Gutierrez, they had him at wingback. You know he's one of the best left backs in La Liga. I want us to buy him back this summer. But today, in attack, where was he? Even when we scored and Girona did try and open up a bit more, we neutralized them. I think Tchouaméni today did a good job, right? Even if you want to talk about Rodrigo did have a good opportunity to score, right? I think twice. Once he shot and it went over the bar. The second is when he passed to Mbappe instead of just shooting, right? I think that Rodrigo, he was solid today, but I think he could have definitely been a lot better. The one player that I think was the worst starter today was Brahim Diaz. I don't understand why Brahim Diaz starts games. I rate Brahim, but I view him as more of an impact sub. Brahim Diaz is not meant to be starting games. Whenever he starts a match, he does not play well. When he comes off the bench in like the 60th or 70th minute, he looks solid. Arda Güler needs more minutes. I think Arda Güler should be starting these games that Jude is suspended for in the league, at least. Because Brahim today didn't really do much. I think that he does put in a good shift off the ball, but he didn't really help in the attack. The buildup wasn't really there from him. I don't even think that he had a shot today. I just don't really rate Brahim when it comes to starting matches. But I get it, right? Carlo does the whole seniority thing, but Nah, for me, Brahim Diaz, very mid today. I think Carlos subs were decent, right? He made 4 subs today. He brought on Ceballos, Camavinga, Rudiger, and Endrick, right? Endrick came on at the end. He got his little Make-A-Wish kid minutes, the standard 2-minute run out. Rudiger came on a little bit before that, but Camavinga and Ceballos were the first subs, right? I got to give Carlo credit for taking off Brahim Diaz. I don't get how Brahim Diaz even lasted as long as he did, but subbed him off, right? I also did think that Arda, as I said earlier, Arda should have gotten some minutes today because it seems like Arda is just rotting away on the bench. And to be honest, chat, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up leaving in the summer. If Carlo is our manager heading into next season, if you're Arda Güler, why would you stay? I don't care what anybody tells me. Carlo does not rate Arda. Actions speak louder than words. This guy has not played in our last 5 matches. If he cannot get minutes against Girona, then somebody tell me when the hell can Arda Güler get minutes? Because we already know he's not going to play against Real Sociedad in the Copa del Rey semis, and he's not going to play against Atleti in the Champions League. So is Arda going to get some minutes against Real Betis? Because if Carlo doesn't trust him, then, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, it's actually crazy the lack of minutes that this player has gotten. For a guy that I rate so highly, I just think it's going to be a situation where he ends up leaving and then he kills it somewhere else because he is a very good player. But, look, man, all that mattered today was the 3 points. I think that the performance could have been a lot better. I was happy with the second half performance, but the first, all that possession, struggling to break teams down. And I think that we're going to run into that issue a lot, to be very honest, because we usually are able to score keeping the ball on the ground. But the thing is, we don't have anything different off the bench. I was talking about it during the watch-along. Today, we could have used a Joselu, right? We could have used an aerial threat in that attack. All my attackers are short, so we don't have that, right? Imagine if Joselu was there today. Imagine us being able to whip crosses into the box and having a tall attacker that's able to win headers. That would give us something different. That would make teams have to defend us differently. But even when we made our subs, teams don't really have to do anything different, right? So that is something that does worry me, right? Especially going into this Atletico Madrid draw. Because, for example, they have Sorloth off the bench. So if Julian Alvarez and if Antoine Griezmann aren't doing much, then they could bring on Sorloth, this big giant from Norway, and it gives them something different. It's a different profile. Whereas we brought on Endrick, and Endrick, I think, shows a lot of promise in the Make-A-Wish kid minutes that he gets. But Endrick is not an aerial threat. Bro is like 5'8". You don't have to defend him that differently, right? And I think that Endrick did make a good run. But Mbappe ended up missing the chance. But Endrick did something, right? I think Camavinga also had a good run, and he laid it off for Rodrigo, and then that was one of the chances that Rodrigo missed. So, again, solid performance. Not that good, right? We didn't cook them. We didn't, put belt to ass. No, we just did what was required to win. I think that we could have looked a lot more convincing, but at this stage, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I can't really be too picky based off the performances that I'm seeing as long as we're getting the dub. Now, what I did want to bring up, right, is the La Liga table. Because if you look at this, right, we are currently sitting second in the league. We're tied on points with Barcelona, and I always get confused on what's the decider with points, right? I know that in La Liga, sometimes people say it's head-to-head. Other people say that it's goal difference. Well, regardless of what it is, we don't have a better goal difference, and we don't have a better head-to-head record against Barcelona this season. So we're sitting second, and every single game is now a must-win. Like I said, we cannot afford to drop points in any of these games if we want to win the league. The La Liga title race is the most interesting one that is going on in world football. You got Atleti, who are only 1 point behind us, and then Bilbao are on some good form at the moment as well. They just beat Real Valladolid like 7-1. So it's technically a four-headed race, right? I know everybody only wants to talk about the big three, but we do have to include Bilbao in the conversation because mathematically they are involved. So, look, let me know what you guys are saying for today's game. Again, I think we were very mid. Second half, we looked a lot better, but I want to see us be more ruthless, right? Like, I want us to score 7 goals. Why can't we do that? I think tactically, we're still very naive. Carlo Ancelotti, I don't mind the subs that you made. You should have brought on Modric started. You should have brought on Arda Güler. But one of the main issues that I have is that there's no system. We literally rely on the power of friendship and individual brilliance. It's not going as I thought that it would this season. But look, we got nobody to blame but ourselves. We had a good little cushion at the top. We go 3 games unbeaten in the league. Out of 9 available points, we only picked up 2. Who else can we blame? So, look, second half of the season is going to get crazy, guys. But as I said, man, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, and get in the comments and join the Discord. It's going to be pinned right there. It takes 2 seconds. Holla Madrid, chat.